Okay, here we go. Chapter 12. If you look at chapter 12, it's broken up into statistics and then into probability. Let's start with stem and leaf plots. Stem and leaf plots are a way for us to organize our data and then interpret our data. Statistics is very important in our world. So when I look at this, I'm not going to go off this screen because you won't see what I'm doing. Everything ends in a 0, 0, so I can kind of drop that out. The first thing you want to do is you want to find the smallest number and the biggest number. So I see that I have a 22 and I see that I have a 30. So my stems will be everything except the last digit. Please remember that. Everything except the last digit. So I'm going to draw a line like this for my stem and leaf plot. This is my stems. This is my leaves. So my stems are going to be 2 and 3. My leaves are going to be the other digit that exists. It's not going to be the zeros. So it's going to be these digits that are after the 2. So I have, and I want to put them in order. So I would have a 2, and then I would space. That takes care of this one. And I have 1, 2 4s. So I'm going to list 2 4s. Notice I'm not putting it close together, and I'm not putting commas in between them. For the 3, I have a 0. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's done. So here you pick the smallest and the biggest. You draw your vertical line right here, pick your stems, and then you're going to put your leaves. When you put your leaves down, you want to put them in order from smallest to biggest, and you want to make sure, most importantly, is you have a key. Because the key tells me that this originally was 2,200 or 2,200 and 2,400. Now from here, I can easily figure out the mean, the median, and the mode. The mean, I got to add them all up and divide by the number of numbers, which there are 9 numbers. The median, I'm going to have to find the middle number. So if there's 9 numbers, remember how I taught you to do this? There's 1 in the middle. So take that 1 away, and you have 8. Cut that in half, and you have 4. So you're going to count 4 numbers in. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your median. So your median is not 8, it's 2,800. Remember, you got to use the data that you're using. The mode is the one that occurs the most often. So we have 2,400, and we have 2,800, and we have 2,900. Remember, you can have more than one mode. Okay? And then again, don't forget your key. That's how you make a stem and leaf plot. So remember, your stems are all of the digits except the last one. Your leaf is the last digit. So let's do another one. So the first thing you want to do is put those numbers in order, or find the smallest and the biggest. So I can see that I'm going to have a stems of 5, 6, and 7, because I have numbers in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So it looks like this. So now again, I can find the mean, I can find the median, and I can find the mode. In this case, the mean, you're going to add all of these together and divide by the number of numbers. Let's see, we have 3, 6, we have 12 numbers. 12 numbers means there's 2 in the middle. Take that, divide it in half, and you can know how many numbers you count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this one. Those are your 2 numbers in the middle, so they're both the same. So your median is 68. Remember, don't just use 8. Your mode is the one that occurs most often, and it looks like 68 occurs most often, and 72. And then your mean, I'm not going to do it, add them all up and divide by 12, and you would have your mean. There you go. So we get to ask questions about it. This is the percent of voters in each state that voted for U.S. representatives. If I said to you, what is the greatest interval that voted? You would say 30 to 39. That's an interval, as a group of numbers. You can see that this is clearly the largest, has the most amount of leaves. If I said to you, what is the greatest percent voted? You would say 59%. If I said, what is the least? You would say 10%. Notice these aren't in order. This should be 0 and this should be 1. So 10% is the smallest. So that answered these questions. Which intervals contains the most percentage? 30 to 39. Greatest was 59%. And then if I asked you for the mean, we would find the middle number. This is the amount allowance given. If I asked you what is the greatest amount allowance given, you would say $50. If I said least, that'd be $0. I don't know who's getting $50. If I asked you for the median, you would find the middle number. And then if I said what is the greatest interval percentage or dollars earned, would be 40 to 49. Remember, that's an interval. That's a test question, and it's often missed because students don't know what interval means. So make sure you pay attention to that question. There you go. This is called a back-to-back stem and leaf plot, and it tells you how to read it by the key. So you always start in the center. These are my stems. These are my leaves. So it's 16 million pounds. This one is 24 million, 32, 39. Then the first question is, who produces the most amount of honey? If you looked at that stem and leaf, obviously California did. And then the next question would be, which state has the most varied production? If you look back at it, Florida does 16 to 25. California does 24 to 45. So again, California has the biggest spread. This is back-to-back of exam scores. So female exam scores to male exam scores. Interesting, isn't it? So female's highest score was 99%. Male highest score was 96%. Look at females don't really have anything in the 60s. Males do. So there's a lot of information that you can get from this. First question would be, which group of students had the higher test scores? And which had the most varied? The males did. There you go. That's the end of stem and leaf plots. They're pretty easy. It's a great way to organize your data. Just don't forget your key.